Oh, yeah. That's right, everyone. It's time. I am Mia Voss, and you're watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. It's the weekend edition, and we did it just for Dustin Stout, just so you know. Let's give him a hand.
You're welcome.
My brother. We were just blaming him for the weekend edition in the green room. So, listen, we're going to be talking about bloggity blog today. Content, Don Draper. You got it. We're going to be talking about it today. So I'm going to jump in. First, I'm going to thank my show sponsor, SteadyDemand.com. If you want to get some great power going on with managing your Google Plus profile, go to SteadyDemand.com/tool. Now everybody drink, because every time we say drink or we say tool, we all drink. You ready? Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, let me get the proper drink here.
Yeah, I know, the Batman cup, exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to jump in. Oh, and Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you for that, Ryan. Listen, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to introduce my panel. First up, as you already know, we've got Dustin Stout coming out of California. Hey, brother, tell us what you do, and, of course, we know where you are, but tell us again anyway.
Well, yes, I'm in beautiful Southern California. I can't emphasize enough how beautiful it is out here, while the rest of the world is, well, the world. By the world, I mean the U.S., because clearly I'm American, and that's all that matters. Doofus. So, yeah, it's beautiful here. I'm looking outside. It's probably in the 70s.
Oh, killing me.
And just let that marinate for a second. I am a designer, branding guy, a social media junkie. I help businesses, brands, people, individuals, and children, too. I don't discriminate.
You produce children.
I produce children who do awesome things online.
And you also produce shiny images. And just so you guys know, apparently I was a great influence on Judah, one of Dustin's kids, because he said Mia. And now we're waiting for him to say bat crap crazy, right?
Yeah, we'll work on that for the next weekend edition.
All right, well, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on, as usual, for our weekend. Next up, I've got Mr. Ryan Hanley. Welcome to the show, darling.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, on the opposite end of the scale, the other side of the country, freezing your butt off, tell us what you do and where you are.
So I am the director of marketing for an independent insurance agency, is what pays most of the bills, and then the rest of them are paid through a small content marketing consulting business that I do, and I speak nationally. And just to kind of piggyback off what Dustin said, yesterday it was 37 degrees, and it could have been 100, so you can keep your 70, and when it's been 15 degrees out for 2 months, 37 feels like 100. I was people walking around in t-shirts and shorts yesterday, so
you bet.
37.
Oh. And not to be a size queen or anything, but you're saying it's a small firm, but you've got a huge presence, my friend. So, and I've been nerding out on you all week, so so I got my girl crush on you. So welcome to the show, and thank you for coming on.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Next up, my brother, Mr. Ralph. Where you at, honey? Ralph M. Rivera, welcome to the show. Are you blowing your nose? That's why you're blue boxed and you're muted. Ralph's got a cold this this weekend, so he said he was gonna mute and take his camera off. Can you hear us, Ralph? Gotta unmute yourself, brother. Let's talk about him while he can't hear us. Actually, he can hear us. You just can't say anything. So Ralph, I guess, is muted. We can't get him unmuted. But he is a developer with Triber. So, oh, there he is. And there's two of them. Hey.
Yikes.
There's two of you, brother.
What happened there?
I don't know, but you're double trouble now. I love it.
Well, that's my plan for the rest of the show, just to drop in and drop out periodically.
Just to mix things up. Hey, tell us what you do and where are you out of, honey?
I am in the great state of New Jersey, originally from New York. In 1999, I founded a marketing and communications company called Raveler Interactive. We do some great stuff. And about 2 years ago, we founded a web search and social company called Web Search Social. And for about the past year, I've been working with a great team over at Triber.
Look at his T-shirt, everybody.
That's right, Triber.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
I was going to wear a T-shirt that said Dino Dogan on it, but I couldn't find that one.
Yeah, I think we need to get some of the people from a T-shirt store to make you a Dino Dogan one, and I would wear it too, by the way.
There you go.
But maybe in tiny letters.
Did you see the picture that Dino posted today on his Facebook? A picture of him at 17 years old wearing nothing but a leather jacket.
And long hair.
Long hair, no shirt, leather jacket.
Oh, man.
He is merciless to himself, and it is awesome. I did see that. Hey, could you also, speaking of visual images, which I love, could you show us Mr. Stay Puft real quick, hon?
Oh.
Hey. I like how, like, scale-wise, it looked a lot larger where it was sitting, so I appreciate that.
This is our marketing coordinator.
Don't think. Clear your mind. He knows what scares you, right? Listen, before we get into the show about blogging, we have got some special guests that are driving by today. They're hanging out with the cool kids. I'm going to show in the broadcast. What up, guys? It's Ronnie Benson and Jeff C. Hey, guys. They've been photobombed twice since they got on the show. It's been awesome.
Hey, guys. It's Ronnie Benson, the Hangout Helper, and
Jeff C.
We're doing the shows live. We're doing stuff live from the streets of Austin, Texas. This is 2014 South by Southwest, or as the locals say, South by. And we've been doing this. This is our third technical day, but it's actually day number 2. And yesterday our big feature was interviewing Guy Kawasaki, which was rather awesome, and getting kicked out of the hotel twice for trying to do it in the hotel. So we got to do it outside on the streets. And we found something that's awesome for Mia, and I just wanted to bring it in. It's right here. You see that little ball?
Bling!
We got some bling to go with the tiara. So
I love it.
We are using the lesser quality, or the lower quality camera on the phone because we wanted to get both of us wearing our nifty hats. Right? We got matching hats for South by Southwest, and that right there, this is $50 of value right there, baby. 2 hats, $50.
And it is very worth it. It's very twinsy.
Yes, yes. So we hope that some of you are able to watch the show live. We're doing them all the way through the 11th, and we have an event for every day. There's a bunch of people from the Hangout Mastery Group helping run it. It's really pretty cool. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. You know, Mia, I was going to tell you, I was really worried when I met Ronnie for the first time that he would be wearing pants, because we never see that. And
the lower half.
Yeah, so he could have showed up in a Scottish kilt, and I thought that would have been cool. But anyway, it's a lot of fun.
I think that's the amazing thing about any IRL is you really don't know if anybody's got anything pretty much below the rib cage.
Yeah.
So you didn't know if Ronnie would come in with fake legs. What was going to happen? Hey guys, who are you excited to talk with at the South by Southwest? I know you've already nerded out on Guy Kawasaki, so we got that out of the way.
That was probably the big feature for me, but there's other people we're trying to connect with. We're trying to meet up with Grumpy Cat. Okay.
Stop. Bob Voss. Bob Voss just lost his mind.
Okay. We're also trying to meet up with Justine Rivera, who is one of the main community managers for Google+. We've been chatting. We just haven't been able to figure out when and where. And there's someone else we were going to interview today, but she couldn't get a cab to get here in time, so we're going to meet up with her again later, we hope. Her name's Amy Harrison. She's from the UK. She does blog content creation. I'm trying to help key it into the show today.
Yes,
and,
we appreciate that.
We've got some other people actually I met on the street last year, and the guy's name is Carlos Austin, and he goes around with his iPad. He does photography. He does iPadography, I think is what he called it, and he does really cool stuff with his iPad. So he goes around taking pictures of people, branding it with the South by Southwest logo, and sending it to them digitally. That's what he does this time of year, which is pretty cool.
What a cool idea to get to see everybody that comes out there and is bringing new stuff to the table, and then they're recognizing you as well, which, by the way, without the glasses, that's another one. That's a different look you got going on, brother.
Hey, in my normal logo, I don't have glasses on, but people are like freaking out. Where's your glasses? Oh, and I have a hat on, so this is what I look like without the hat. Oh, what happened?
What up, Whitey? And without the earbud too. I think that's another different look.
Without the headset. Yes, that's changed. It's hard for people to understand, but I do have legs.
Hold on. I love it.
Anyways. But this is great, and Jeff's been a super fan, super fantastic. He's a super fan.
Fantastic.
Here holding on to stuff and making it work, as well as the rest of Hangout Mastery. And thanks for letting us come into the show. Anything?
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
It's all for Dustin, so we're glad Dustin's here.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, this is groundbreaking stuff we're getting to see. I'm digging it. Yeah, hey, Dustin, Ralph, Ryan, you want to say anything to the guys before they get photobombed?
I heart you.
Can we get a 360 view up there where you guys are? Can we get a panorama?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll go. Which way you want to go? We're going slow so that it doesn't break up the picture because it's the lower quality mic. I mean, I keep saying mic, the camera.
There's probably cool people in those buses.
Okay, I'm nauseous. I'm nauseous.
I think we should also shout out Jeff C's facial hair. That's pretty awesome.
Look, kids, the real world, you know.
Exactly. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Listen, everybody go watch these shows because these guys are going to be busting it out. I mean, you're where all the cool people are.
Yeah, and you know what? What was the best feature for me besides Guy yesterday was eating the 3D candy that they made right there on the street. They did 3D printing in sugar with sour apple flavor, and it was yummy.
So you're all buzzed up and nerding out. I love it.
And salivating at the same time.
It's salivating. We were laughing in the green room that when you talked to Guy Kawasaki, it was probably like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, like, hey, when you wrote that book, that was awesome, right?
That's right. Fortunately, I had enough composure after dealing with the security people that it wasn't going to faze me too much.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Just a little bit. You guys really pulled it off because that interview went from 30 minutes down to 5, right?
Well, yeah. The situation was such that we were planning on being inside. He was wearing a short sleeve shirt. It was cold, and we were outside and windy, and I was struggling with the tech to make it work because it was one of the very first ones we did for the whole series, and we're just glad it worked out.
Yeah. Now you
working at all.
But it made it work. We made it work.
You did. You guys are groundbreaking for us. For when we get out to San Diego in a couple weeks too. So you're going to be able to talk us through it for sure. All right. Thanks for the bling, brothers.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming in, guys. We'll see you later. Thank you. Bye, guys. That was fancy. Oh, fist bump. I think he's fist bumping or he's turning off the camera. I'm not sure which that was. So, oh man, that was awesome, you guys. That was perfect. You guys can unmute now too, since we have that. Hey, let's go get some comments real quick, and then we're gonna get into some blingity blang blog. We had a couple comments from David Leopold. Must be noon and time for the weekend edition. Hi, David. We've got Digides Irene. Oh, can you hear her accent when I read this? Settling in with a cheeky wee Pinot Grigio. Hi, Yvonne, Mark, and Lainey, and all. Oh, who does not love Irene Brody? Don't tell me if you don't, because I'll cut you. Seriously. I love her. Matt Vaden, this will be his first show. Oh, popping Matt Vaden's cherry. Can't wait to hear you guys get your learn on. You guys have anybody you want to shout out in the audience real quick before we get started?
Don Draper, Mark Traphagen is here from yesterday. He's rolling it back again.
He did. Big bada boom. He really did, you guys. We're going to get into that, but, you know, Ryan's got his Content Warfare TV show, which he is just busting a move on that, and had Mark Traphagen and Eric Enga on yesterday. And, yeah, what did you say, 40 minutes into the show, he came up with the Don Draper
Yeah,
analogy?
he was giving me all his low-level content, and then 40 minutes in, he drops in, you need to be asking your people who's the Don Draper of your organization. It was like, stop. You know, we had to, like, rewind and start again.
He's not stupid. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to make you wait for the good candy.
Yeah, he's like, here's the cliffhanger.
Exactly. How about you, Dustin and Ralph? You want to shout anybody out before we get into it?
Well, big shout out to my fellow Psy warrior, Carolyn Capern.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, nice.
She's our token chick for our psychological warfare series.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of warfare we're talking about. Got content warfare, psychological warfare, and that's with Nick Cardot, right?
Yes, with Nicholas Cardot,
Yep.
Keith Blomendahl, and Wade Harmon when he can join us.
God, you got all the fun boys all up in that. I love it. You know what I love today? And happy International Women's Day, by the way. And in honor of that, I thought I would bring on three guys.
Thank you.
Just to represent, exactly. Hey, Ralph, you want to shout anybody out? I have a feeling we know who you're going to shout out, but go ahead.
Well, my wonderful wife is on, and she's already sent me 3 messages telling me things that I'm doing that are annoying her. So I'm going to stop each of those things and behave myself.
You tell her she's not going to get any if she keeps that up. I don't know if that's a threat or not, but anyway.
She's like, is that a promise? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, awesome, guys. Okay, listen. So we are going to jump into this. So as promised, we're going to be talking about blogging. I could not bring in 3 better people to talk about content, creating, what to write about, how to bring in your audience, and how to get it out there. So I'm going to shut up now because I got nothing. I'm hoping they haven't gone to my blog and are making fun of it. So, Dustin, we're talking in the green room about this. Let's just jump in and start with some really basics about, blogging and kind of encouraging people of like, how to get it started and how not to write stupid stuff. How's that for a challenge?
That is a challenge because writing stupid stuff is incredibly fun.
Oh, and easy. Okay, good. I don't feel so badly.
Easy. But here's what I really like to tell. I work with a lot of bloggers. A lot of my clients are bloggers. And one of the things that I always encourage is resist the temptation to write about everything.
Ooh.
Just
talk about niching.
What's
right?
that?
Niching down, brother. Niching down on it. Yes.
It's not even just niche for the sake of doing a niche. It's for the sake of your own sanity and for the sake of your own sustainability. Because what I find, because it's what I did at first, is that I had this mentality that I had to appeal to the widest audience possible, and that I had so many interests that I couldn't possibly narrow my interest down on my blog. But what happened was I just got so tired of it. It became overwhelming because I'm like, oh, I want to write about this. I want to write about this. Oh, I want to write about this. And it's all these different subject matters. And it completely diluted my focus. I got overwhelmed because there was so much. Whereas when I decided to narrow my focus, it became much more easy to sustain content about that particular topic. So, when I first started, it was, everything from social media to Christianity and design, and then I wanted to talk about theater, acting,
right.
entertainment. I am a man of many, many, many interests. I have interest ADD.
You're like me when I'm drinking. I think I'm so interesting, right?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Oh.
I thought I was the.
Look at Ryan laughing.
They call it the jack of all trades. I thought I was the king of all trades. I may not be the ace, but I'm at least second best at all trades.
Right.
But I wasn't. So I decided to narrow my focus, and it became so much more, I guess, conducive to my effectiveness and sustainability as a blogger.
And don't you think it set an expectation as well? So, for instance, like for me, for my show, now I go on different subjects, and that's great. So people are coming because they like the people that I'm bringing on. But for you, that does set an expectation of, like, when Dustin speaks on a certain subject, we know that he's done his research, and it's not just like, oh, I might, I'm going to talk about, canned foods or, whatever, like, because it just happened to be something you saw on a store. You're going to speak on something very specific, and you've drilled it down, right? So you've set a good expectation.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it really has to be all about what you're most passionate about. I mean, I have a love and interest for many things, but there are very few things that I'm extremely passionate about. And that happens to be social media, design, branding. And so that's
now your go-to. Exactly.
Exactly.
About that. Cool. Hey guys, you want to jump in on that?
Hey Mia, can I want to pop a quick note up here from Susan, and I think she speaks perfectly to what Dustin is talking about. And when I'm talking about content creation with my clients, or I'm for my own content creation, for things I need to get off my chest, one of the things I love about Google Plus, and one of the reasons that attracted me to this social network, is I use this as my thought platform, right? So anyone who follows along with my stuff, this is where I'm testing my thoughts. What if I talk about this? How do people respond? What if I have this on my brain, I need to get this idea out? Because it's the perfect platform for that. You can go long form, you can have format, you can add images, videos, audio if you have SoundCloud. I mean, all these different things. Test it, get feedback, and then on my blog, that's where I put my resources. So that's how I make that delineation. Thoughts go into social media, in my case Google Plus, but whatever works for you. And
on postings, right?
Yeah, and then my blog is for resources. So when I come up with something that I think works for businesses marketing on Google Plus, I'm going to create a video, I'm going to do text around it, I'm going to really build that out. That's a resource that goes onto my blog. Take the most recent example about commenting. That is actually 3 or 4 posts on Google Plus and feedback I got from people, and they're like, this works, here's a couple examples, and bam, it becomes a resource. So I think social media is a great place to get all those little interests out. Dustin can join a community on Google Plus or on Facebook or something that's about Christianity. but he may not want that to be on his blog, so he can get that out of his system and still have his blog be that one place where he's known for that thing that he does best and he wants to be known for.
You know, it's a great example of that, Ryan, is when you did the post that went bat crap crazy a couple weeks ago asking about swearing, about you know, whether it's you know,
amazing.
That was really. Can you talk about that real quick? Because that, I mean, this is a perfect example. You were testing something out and you wanted to know what people thought, and it became a pretty interesting conversation.
So this, I would have never expected this. On like I was talking to someone about a potential speaking engagement, and the woman said to me, "You're not gonna swear during the event, right?" And I said, "Well, geez, what would make you?" And I like to curse, but like on the golf course and stuff, right? Like I don't consider myself someone who curses all the time. And
that's the only place I curse too, is on the golf course.
And driving.
Well, yes. Don't get me started. I lived in New York City and Washington D.C. Like cursing and while I drive is.
They go together.
So she said that to me, and I said, "Well, geez, what would make you think that?" And she said, "Well, you've used the word bullshit quite a bit on your website." And I started to think about it, and I said, "Really? Is that something that could turn people off?" So I wrote a 4-word or like 6-word post. Is the word bullshit unprofessional? And it went ballistic. And at Thursday at 9:30, I had 150 comments on this post in like an hour. And it just became this huge discussion that spread all over the place. And you know, that's something that if I had just put that onto my site, my thoughts would have been one way. But after really diving into it and seeing what all this feedback was and having a chance to really think through it, I think what I ended up putting on my site was a really kind of detailed thought process that people should go through when they're deciding whether to curse or not. And I don't think that the content would have been as good if I hadn't tested it first in social media.
Exactly. And then you were able to, hey, so what did you come up with, by the way?
I actually decided to pull the word bullshit down. And, you know, I got a lot of people that came to me and said, "Oh, you got to be true to yourself." And I'll tell you, this
that
is
was what the conversation was, by the way, because I know I piped in on it too. So,
yeah. So let me tell you why I made this decision, because I think that it's important for people to understand. What I had to determine was who shares my content and who buys products from me, like who actually pays my bills, right? So
that's right.
The people that share my content, I love them. I call them Content Warfare Nation. They share amazing things and feedback, and I love these people. I mean, they're what kind of gets me up every day. But the people that, you know, put food in my kid's mouth are the owners of insurance agencies or local small businesses that are hiring me to do content marketing for them, and they don't want to hear that word in my content. They don't want to see it because, you know, just in certain aspects of that world, it is seen as a negative. So I said, why let that word limit me?
Gotcha.
And that's what I decided.
Yeah, I like that too, guys. Of like coming up with your message, coming up with your audience. Let's talk about that as well. And Ralph, we didn't forget you, honey. I know you bet you're over there blowing your nose and doing all kinds of fun stuff. So jump in on that too for blogging and how you put that out there. Which, Ryan, I really do love that, and thanks for sharing that, because that was interesting to see. Like, you tested it out to get that message out there. Oh, you're muted, Ralph.
Sorry about that. So I think that everything that the gentleman here said is I agree with. But there's a step that comes before that, I think, in terms of content creation, which is that most people don't have the discipline to do that day in and day out. People who start blogging might be able to pull off a good piece of, and I'm going to use the word blogging generically to refer to any type of content creation, YouTube channels, creating content on Google+, anything. Okay. When you get started blogging, whether you're doing it for yourself or what are you laughing at?
Oh, wait, you got to see what Ryan just put up, because he said you called him gentleman. Hold on a second. You got to look. Yeah. He's taking offense at that, at umbrage. No, but I agree. Yeah, it's content. Go ahead.
So regardless of whether you're blogging for yourself or blogging for business, you should set parameters for yourself, because most people tend to blog once, twice, 3 times, and then they drop off the radar. So one of the things I typically tell people who are getting started is to set some parameters for themselves. Make a decision up front that you're going to blog once a week, twice a week, once a month, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with, and then create some parameters for yourself. Are you going to make 500-word posts? Are you going to make 1,000-word posts? Because this way, at least you have a target to hit, instead of just sitting down at a computer, not knowing the direction that you're going to go in, and then getting frustrated and dropping the whole thing. So that's kind of the first step before you get into the actual content creation, is having the discipline to sit down and structure your time. To me, time management is probably the biggest place that people fail before they get to the actual content, creating their actual content. And of course, as we all know, creating content is incredibly easy.
We were talking about that in the green room too. I say I've had a couple of people send me some things to read. I say I'm a great reader. So, like, I don't like creating content, but boy, can I read like a mofo. So, and that, by the way, is not swearing. So, which, speaking of swearing, can I just bring this comment up real quick because this one's hilarious. Content we want to see Dustin Stout cursing on his Christian blog.
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
You knew I was too. That one was a good one. Thank you for that, Mark, too. So you guys chime in on what Ralph was saying. Let's get into that because I love having these practical things for people who are newbies as well that would like to get their message out. And it is important that this is an interesting conversation that the gals from Those Four Girls had the other day about content, and that your blog really is your one place that it's content that nobody can take it away. Something can go away at any second, right? You know, Google Plus, any of these platforms we have all this great stuff on could get yanked, but your blog is what you own. That's your house. So jump in on that, guys.
I mean, look at Facebook. Look at anyone who's built.
Yeah, Dino Dogan always.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Oh, go ahead. One of you.
This is one of Dino Dogan's pet peeves. He always talks about how people are building other people's empires with your content as their bricks, and it's very true. We put all of our content on our blog. We don't put we don't put our content on YouTube, on Facebook or G Plus, really. At least not the content in its entirety, because that could go away at any moment.
Right.
You know, who knows what terms of service you might violate? You might not be violating today, but you might violate tomorrow.
Good
so
point.
it's not worth it to have your content go away.
Ryan, jump in on that, hon.
No, and you know, Dino was actually on my podcast before I was doing the Hangouts, and he. You know, he went off. He's got a great rant on this. And you look up Dino rants on this topic. Like, he rants on this topic amazingly. But you know, look at Facebook. You know, I mean, and Google Plus tends to have a lot of Facebook haters. And for small businesses, you know, because I do work in that area specifically, in smaller towns where Facebook is the only social network that their people are on. They have to be there. But these businesses are getting crushed. Like, this went from being a revenue producing tool to them to now it's really at best a small community management tool, because the rules completely changed, and they have no place to go if they, instead of building a website or having a blog, just said, I'm going to create a Facebook page because that's where my people are, and they didn't take that other step. You have to have that home base. You know, it's a necessity. It's not even a question or a debatable topic. It is something. It is a necessity to doing business, and then you can debate where you distribute that content.
Well, let's face it, too. You want everything to drive back to your website anyway. You're going to be, you know, the list. You're grabbing the list. You're grabbing the names and all that, which, by the way, Ryan, nice job on yours, because I signed up for you the other day.
Oh,
and you've got a nice little, I stalk everybody before they come on my show, so I was checking out your shiny. What were you going to say, Dustin?
I was just saying, and that's probably the most compelling point for me. The best example of, you know, the fact that building somebody else's platform, they hold all the rules, they control all the algorithms, and that the Facebook algorithm is the biggest bait and switch in history. What you got now?
I was watching a video the other day. It was a marketing person who was at an event, and he said to the audience of 100 or 200 people that every business in 2014 should strongly consider shutting down their website and having all of their marketing be only on Facebook. I'm going to let that sit for a second and let you just kind of digest that for a moment.
Can you tell me his name so that I can...
Wait, I want the event coordinator's name. I want to go talk at that conference. They're just giving money away. They're literally giving money away. I want to talk at that conference.
Oh my goodness.
I want to mail him a package with a fake hand inside of it, with a note inside. So when he opens it, it says, "Please slap yourself for me."
With this hand.
With this hand, slap yourself for me. It
That's
could be
crazy.
palm or the back of the hand, either way.
Oh, And you know, there's always punching or slapping on my show for sure. Go ahead, Ralph. Finish that. That's amazing.
Well, the icing on the cake was that he told the audience that the only place to get measurable engagement was Facebook. That there was no other medium that would allow you to get measurable engagement.
Anybody else got
you have that kind of nonsense going on.
Let me just go on the record and say that is the stupidest piece of advice I've ever heard a marketer give. And that's saying a lot.
Well, I like
his
the
last
simple
slide course on Facebook marketing that he was selling?
All right. And advertising on Facebook.
Well, I think we're being
F-word.
Yeah, I think we're being very generous to call him a marketer. But I think that he represents a big core contingent of marketers that are out there right now, which are people that, in essence, run their marketing business by reading the press releases that Facebook is putting out. They read the press release and then they edit it and make it look like it's coming from them, and all they're doing is repeating the talking points from Facebook, which is in essence what he was doing.
You know, in the green room, Ralph asked me if we could swear, and I just said everything, you know, but the F word. So we did say the F word, actually. So, and I'm going to jump in here. Hey guys, if you're just
who did that?
Yeah, I think you started it and I finished it. Hey, if you're just joining us, you're watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. I'm Mia Voss, and we're talking about blogging today with Dustin Stout, Ralph Rivera, and Ryan Hanley. So, guys, let's jump into design, because Dustin brought that up in the green room too, about designing your blog and the look of your blog. I guess Dustin should probably start that
one. I guess he should. I brought it up, right?
Hey.
No, you know, it's I mean, obviously, it's my profession as a professional designer. You know, that's the first thing I look at when I visit a blog.
Speaking of shiny, by the way.
And I want to say, even as a designer, let me just qualify this by saying design is not the most important thing in your blog. I will go straight back to what I said at the beginning. Narrow your focus, decide what you're passionate about, and just start writing about it. I feel like so many people get hung up on the design, and it becomes an excuse for not succeeding and for not writing more.
I think it does hold people back, because they're like, I don't want to put that out until I've got it perfect. So you're right. Like, going for that perfection thing is really going to stop you from getting stuff done.
Right. So let me preface this conversation with, forget the design until you've got the writing and the content down.
Okay.
Agree?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, can I jump in?
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, because you made a point that really just resonated with me. We launched Web Search Social, relaunched Web Search Social today. We were supposed to launch on January 1st, and when we put together our first site, we thought only about the design, and we spent about 2 months working on it. And then when we were ready to launch, we looked at it and we said, wow, this is really beautiful, number one, and number two, it meets none of our business requirements. We were so focused on design, so we did it in reverse. So we have something that we're happy with now, but we as professionals, we make those mistakes as well. So sorry to interrupt. That point just resonated with me.
Absolutely. I think it is getting caught up in the shiny. I know there's a lot of different things. I mean, talk about niching down and figuring out what your look has to be. I think you also can't get caught up, because there's always going to be somebody who's not going to like it, right?
Yeah,
a look of your blog, as long as your content is easy to find and read.
Yeah, let me just tell you, I as a designer and as an artist, professionally, all day long, I have people telling me how amazing my work is, how much they love my work and follow my work and appreciate my work. And I just launched a new redesign on Dustin.tv that is drastically different, and I've done some crazy things, and people are praising me all day long. But there's always people. One guy in a comment said that I completely wrecked it. I completely
don't look
wrecked
at it. That's
theme.
what I say.
But it's just something you do. You're not going to please everybody. Take the good. Understand the bad. Don't take it to heart too much. I have to deal with that every day. People don't like what I create, and that's fine, because I don't create for myself. For the most part, that's a lie. A little bit selfish in what I create, but for the most part, when I'm designing for someone else, it's to meet their needs and to fit their personality. And your design should ultimately fit your personality. At the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the monitor or in the mirror and say, I love what I'm writing, and I love I love what I'm doing, and that's what matters more than anything else. So
I love that.
There are some design principles that go into creating a beautiful user experience and a beautiful design.
Give me a couple of those ones that people must adhere to in order for their blog to be something that people are going to return to and understand and get through easily, right?
Yeah, I live by really three principles. Content focused is number one. So if there is anything on your blog that is outshining the content itself or overpowering the content itself, you're going in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Because a blog is about the writing, and it's about the reader reading. So if there's anything else distracting from that content or overpowering the content, if you got frizzy frills and big neon signs and flashing lights on the sides,
talk about
pop-ups below.
Talk about pop-ups. Hey, no, that came up this week, right? That popped up. Speaking of.
All right, well, I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that's distracting from your content, you may be headed in the wrong direction, because your blog is all about the content. Secondly, typography. This is where a lot of people don't understand. They don't know a whole lot about. They don't know how to change it. But
can I just say, I've seen you dog shame some people for their typography. It's
oh my gosh!
Dustin, can you explain quickly to people what typography is? Because not everyone might not necessarily know exactly what you're talking about when you say it.
I think for us newbies, it might be font.
Yeah, fonts, the font that you use, the size of the font, the space between the lines, anything having to do with the type or the text or the font.
Yes.
Typography is very, very important. There's some good uses, bad uses, but at the end of the day, make it easy to read. Make it big enough so people don't have to sit there like this to read your content.
Somebody screenshot that. That's awesome. No, it's true though. I think for a lot of people, they do get caught up in the shiny and the design and things like that, and then but you realize it gets you aggro if you can't read it, which means aggravated.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And, a lot of people will visit my blog or any of the blogs that I've helped design, and I put a huge emphasis on readable typography. I want the reader to be able to sit back like this in their chair and read comfortably.
And listen, as a woman over 40, trust me, I do kind of have to just sit back and go, I can't read it, so you better make it easy for Mama to read it. That's all I got to say.
Well, yeah, I make it for you.
You do. Thank you, my brother. And then what's your third one?
Most readers will not.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead, Ralph. Most readers will not what?
You left us on a
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
sorry about that. Most readers will not read a blog article before they scan it, and typography is what will either allow someone to scan an article quickly or prevent them from scanning the article. So to me, type is probably the single most important aspect of any blog.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that the path that you created the blog post, the path that you expect people to take is not the path that people are necessarily going to take. So, that's why having scannable content, including rich media, like maybe a video that goes along with text, so including a transcript along with your video. Like I have a lot of people who'll be like, I only watch your videos that you include a transcript on. I'm like, why? They're like, because I scan the transcript first, see if there's points that I'm interested in, and then I go back and I watch the video. And that happens more often than you think. So, my only thing with design, because I said in the green room, I talked a little bit about, I know nothing about design really. I just pick the designs I like the best on Studio Press's little child theme there, and I change them like once every 7 days because I'm like a tinkeraholic. But
that's a great phrase.
As long as I think that providing content in a way that is easily consumable and that gives people the option to consume it how they want to consume it is important. Just when you put little tiny font and little packed in paragraphs, you're saying this is the only way you can consume content is to read every single sentence in this blog post, and people just, a large portion of your audience is not going to want to do that.
Hey, let me bring up a comment real quick because it's really good. Dustin Stout, Mia Voss, what the font? Great show. Thank you,
I'm
Rhonda,
so going to use that hashtag.
Yeah. What the font?
The next time I see a site with completely horrible typography, I'm going to hashtag it with what the font.
And you need a fist bump around a green for that one. That's classic, too. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, what was your third one, or did we get to the third one?
Third one, it has to tie in with branding, because, branding is my bent.
Yep.
Consistency. Consistency in design. Even if it's consistently bad or consistently weird, consistency, above all, will help build trust with your readers, because they learn how to read, how to interpret your site.
Right.
And if consistent typography throughout, consistent colors, pick a color palette, stick with that color palette like crazy, and just be consistent. Be consistent in your style. Be consistent in your paragraphs and your paragraph length. Be consistent in your, if you have sidebar advertisements and images, be consistent. Be as consistent as you possibly can, and your design will look all the more professional and unified.
Right.
Unified makes it seem more professional, and people like to be familiar with things. They like to get comfortable with things. So.
In other words, pick a lane.
Yeah, pick a lane.
And stick in that lane, right?
You know what? The good thing about too, especially if you're on a WordPress blog, is
hey Dustin, I'm going to give you one more.
Oh.
I've got 12 more, but
right. You thought he only had 3? Have you met Dustin? Come on now. Wait, jump in there, and then you, Ryan. What were you going to say, Ralph?
I was going to add one to Dustin's list, which is know your limits, trust your designer.
Yes.
A lot of people perceive
very
themselves.
Yoda-like.
That one?
Yeah.
That's
a lot of people
they
perceive themselves to be designers, and they're not. I'm not a designer. I'm not a graphic designer. So I need to listen to what our creative director says, and I need to have faith that he's got our best interests in mind. And a lot of times people, small business mostly, will not do that.
Agreed. You, sir, are no designer, right? That's what I say about myself. I just know it looks pretty. That's the other one, too, what appeals to my eye. Ryan, what were you going to say on that one?
The thing I was going to say is that, especially if you're on a WordPress blog, the cool thing is that these things are so easy to change, right? To little tweaks. I'm not saying the overall design, but like if you want to put a opt-in box at the end of your post, or you want to change your logo or something. I mean, these things are very easy to tweak. So it's not like you have to have the whole design figured out on day one that you launch your blog. Like,
that's
have
right.
a nice look, something that's functional, that follows Dustin's 3, kind of design things. And then once you get going, now you move on to Ralph's, and you hire a designer to actually give you something that looks amazing. Once you get into it, because you can, for $100, you can go to Studio Press, buy one of their child themes, and have a very nice functional blog.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once you start rocking and rolling, you call one of these, you call Dustin, you have him come in, and you make it look, exactly the way you want. So it doesn't have to be, 110 miles an hour from day one. Like, just get going.
Right. And I think sounds like a good idea too, is just to pick maybe 4 or 5 people that are kind of your favorites that have been reading your content once you get it going, and say, hey guys, could you give me your feedback on how this works for you? Pick 4 or 5 people I think that have a different perspective, and have them do that. And then you're right, maybe come back to it in 6 months after you've done it. Okay, how's have I've been watching the ebb and flow of my analytics, if I'm getting a lot of people coming to it, and I'd say pick people's brain, right?
Crowdsource everything. I crowdsource all my decisions.
I knew you'd say some cool way to say it.
I don't make.
Sure.
According to my wife, and I think that she's 100% accurate, I am not necessarily good at decision making. So I get a lot of feedback before I make any decision, and I think that's perfectly okay. Like, you don't have to do exactly what people tell you to.
Right.
But get feedback before you just pay somebody $3,500 to go design your site.
Sure. And feedback is good, not to the point of distraction, right? Because then you're just like, oh my God, I've got, opinions everywhere, and you know what those are like, because everybody's got one. Real quick, I'm going to pull up some of our tweets that came in. Besaw, get your learn on, Backcrab Crazy, shout out to me. Thank you so much for getting people that are doing a lot of tweeting. So please tweet Backcrab Crazy. Let's take it over from people that are cranky about politics, and get your learn on. And hey, Lauren Rambles, Constant Ramble, love your Google Hangouts, Backcrab Crazy. Real quick, Mark says, I'm over 40, who would have guessed that? Not me. I'll pay you later for that comment. Thank you so much. And Dustin, really great tips for newbie in-season bloggers. Everybody, actually. Lainey, thanks for that comment. So awesome. Hey, let's we're at 45 past the hour. Let's keep going on this for a little bit, though. What about pop-ups?
Oh,
You started to bring that up. Can we talk about that real quick? Let's talk about some practical stuff. That sounds dirty, pop-ups.
Hold on,
you know what I'm
roll
talking
up
about.
the sleeve.
Hey now, that cracks his knuckles.
So let me tell you where this came from, just for everyone who's not aware. I was watching a video done by a guy named Derek Halpern, and he is a kind of love him or hate him online personality. He's had incredible success, but he does kind of tend to rub some people the wrong way. And I saw he did a video in which he said, if you're not using pop-ups, you're an idiot. And as soon as I heard him say that, I said, this is absolute. That is the headline of my post. By putting this on Google Plus, people are going to go bonkers. And thank goodness they did. People went bonkers. In a good way. I don't mean that like anyone was wrong. It was just
no, but it's
people,
fun, right?
They're so passionate about this topic. Like, this is like you're questioned what somebody named their child. Like, people go nuts over this topic.
Just for you viewers out there who don't know what pop-ups are, it's basically anything that's like popping up and flashing and is saying, sign up here, or you start to leave and it says, wait, did you mean to leave? Yeah, you know what I hate the most is music.
We've all been to the website where we jump on the website because we want to read an article, and we start to read, and the second we start reading, boom!
Yeah.
The screen goes black, and then there's this big advertisement saying, "Sign up for my ebook, become part of my list."
The X to get to click it away is about like this tiny.
It's this big, and it's over in the corner, and it's just slightly darker than the blacked out screen. So
and God forbid you're not on mobile, right?
Oh my God!
Lord have mercy.
The worst, the absolute worst. The absolute worst type of pop-up is the pop-up that asks you or tells you that you need to share that piece of content first before you've actually read it.
Don't boss me around.
Those sites instantly.
I literally go, you're not the boss of me when I see that. You know what I mean?
Well, so the way this conversation went was it started very aggressively, and it was awesome because we have people on one side that are like, yeah, Derek Halpern, this drives more subscription revenue and all this stuff, and then we had the other side of people who are like, they're awful, and Dustin fell into that category, and it was just fantastic. What I think, so if this is what I think the synopsis of the article came down to be, that interrupting someone's experience is never a good thing. If you're going to make the decision to do that, you better have amazing content and be completely okay with the fact that you're offending some people and some people won't come back. Like, that's a decision, a business decision you have to make. Now, there are other uses of pop-ups. Like, I use a pop-up when someone clicks on an image on one very specific image. They click on that image because they want to subscribe to my Google Plus Starter Kit. A pop-up comes up, they can sign up, and then it closes so that they never have to leave that page to subscribe to the list. Okay, so
which I will say, as a hater of pop-ups, that is a brilliant use case because it enhances the user experience.
Yep, and I'm raising the roof right now just in case anyone wants to know what that is. That actually, so there are cases where a pop-up built into the user experience can be a very successful, very acceptable practice. Right. But it's the interruption piece that really causes the problems, and I think that's where it comes down to, as a business case, you have to decide, I'm going to use this pop-up, my content is so good that people are going to look past it, and that I'm completely okay with the people who won't come back because they aren't my audience or whatever decision you have to make, but just to use them arbitrarily and not understand the ramifications of using them is a bad practice.
It is it's definitely polarized. Obviously, you guys should see the comments, by the way. It's going bad crap crazy, which is really good. There's a lot. In fact, and I apologize if I'm not getting to some of your questions. There's so many comments. It's just rolling on past too. So you just say, do you test that out as well? Then I would say in the beginning, don't start with that. No, I'd say keep it simple. I think so. I think so. So, guys, let's get into getting out content and how to get that out there. Somebody asked me, they wanted us to get a little bit more into Triber. So, Ralph, can you jump in on that? I mean, it's obviously your bread and butter right now, and I'm a big Triber fan. So let's talk about that for getting content out there.
I've heard of this thing called Triber.
And I wear the
T-shirt. Triber is... That's right. Triber is, I think one of the things that people tend to not understand about Triber is that Triber, you can only get out of Triber what you put into Triber. Triber's whole paradigm is this idea of tribe mates and tribes, and there are a lot of people that will join Triber, put in their RSS feed, and then just walk away. And then they get no benefit, and they wonder why that's the case. Triber is about community building and empowering the content creators, and if you're not actively participating, at least at the tribe level, your own tribe, it's very difficult to get any momentum that way. So I always tell people that you've got to make a commitment to Triber. And by the way, Triber is just a tool. There are lots of other tools out there, and the same rule applies to all. So Triber works for some people. Triber doesn't work for some people. Who did I drop?
No, I think it might have been me that was froze. But can you hear? Can you hear us? Okay. There you are. And I use Triber, and you know what I love about? I do love it because I feel like I'm leveraging the people who like me, basically. Right? I mean, I feel like it's just the best way for me to say, it's a good start. I love the reach. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's sharing it, so you do have to manage it and get in there and see, you can click on people and see, okay, how many people are actually sharing it. But I think it's just like any other social media platform. It's an algorithm. It's engagement, right?
Right.
It's not just throwing it out there.
The one thing that we always encourage people to do on Triber is to start their own tribes. A lot of people will join Triber and then they'll hunt around for tribes and maybe not find a good fit for themselves, but they don't create their own tribe. That's always a good place to start because you can control the direction of the conversation. You can ask people to participate in your tribe that are going to add value to you while you're adding value to them. And that's something that you might not be able to do if you're joining someone else's tribe that might have a different agenda than you have. So I encourage everybody to start a tribe and try to get as many people, good quality people, into their tribes as possible.
And go check out their content, right? And go see.
Right.
It's almost like, to me, it's like creating your own cool kids lunch table.
Right. Except in this case, it's not about the cool kids. It's about the people that are creating good content.
That's cool kids.
Yeah, because if you create a tribe and you invite 50 people that are all producing poor quality, all that's going to do is it's going to dilute and muddle up the content that you're producing that's good. And this is, of course, assuming that this person is creating good content. Right. But you want to constantly be escalating the game. I'm a very big believer of always being the dumbest person in the room. I always want to be surrounded by people that are smarter than me because they'll bring me up as opposed to the other way around. So you want to have that mentality on Triber, is that you want to have people in your tribe that are creating just amazing content so that it can help drive your content up.
I love it when I got the invite from you, can I be in your tribe? And I think my answer was, well, duh. So
that's right. And then I believe you answered me back by trying to pimp out your cat to my cat.
I totally did. Well, they've got the cancer in common,
That's
so
right.
Bob Voss is he is taking a nap over here, by the way. He said paw bump to you. He might jump in there.
I already told Bingo that I've married her off, so it's a done deal.
I just want to know when the dowry shows up. Is it going to be in catnip, or how's that going to look?
You'll get a farm and 3 goats.
Hey, listen, when the zombie apocalypse shows up, that stuff comes in handy. Hey, guys, pipe in here, Ryan and Dustin, real quick on disseminating and getting your info out there. Triber, obviously, I'm a big one, but you guys pop in there too about where you're using besides just getting it out to your subscriber list.
Well, for me, Google Plus and Twitter are the two non-email, if we're taking email off, which I think is, I firmly believe that there is no better way to get a group of people to take a specific action in a given period of time than email, right? Like that's my line there. I think email is incredibly important. But so taking that out, for me, it's okay, let me back up real quick. I was watching a show. Chase Jarvis puts on a live show that he does in some studio. It's like Hollywood quality. But he had Gary Vaynerchuk in. Long story short, he asked Gary, someone asked Gary about what social networks should we be on? And his response was, be on the social network that you do the best work on, right? where you are your best is where you should be, because all the networks scale. I think a lot of experts give you this, be where your audience is. Well, I mean, there's 1 billion people on Facebook. There's, how many hundreds of millions on Twitter. Same with Google Plus. Same with LinkedIn and Pinterest. Mm-hmm. Your audience scales, whatever social network you're on. So be in the place where you do the best work. For me, that's Twitter and Google Plus. For whatever reason, Facebook doesn't work for me. LinkedIn, I just kind of beef with and don't work well. So my advice to anyone in distribution is spend time in the networks where you do your best work, and people will find you and be gravitated to that, versus trying to be everywhere. It goes what Dustin said, don't be everything to everyone.
That's right. Absolutely. And I think it's because you don't do enough selfies is why you're not doing it on Facebook. I'm just saying.
That could
selfies
be.
Just to give you a little piece of advice. Kidding. All right, Dustin, what about you? Who loves selfies?
Give me the question one more time. I was actually, I got really distracted.
What? Because you have a newborn and a 2-year-old? What's your problem? Right, Shiny.
No, somebody brought up a really good point.
Okay.
Linda Johnson asked a really great question. I wanted to answer that.
She always does, by the way. Yeah, please answer that. And then we were talking about how you're getting, we were talking about Triber and where you get your information out. But yeah, what did Lynn say? What our girlfriend said?
Lynn asked the great question. Can you share a couple of great ways a brand's to grow a brand's email newsletter without using pop-ups? There are so many ways. I feel like the pop-up marketers out there, they do what Derek Halpern did, and they took a stance, and this stance is the only way there is. But that's not.
That's my second snort of the show.
I'm working on my Derek Halpern impression.
I love it.
It's a work in progress. But one of the most popular ways to do it is add a opt-in to your sidebar. If your website has a sidebar, I used to keep mine right at the very top of the sidebar so that people always knew that's where they can sign up for my email newsletter.
Right.
It was very visible. Ryan's taking a selfie right now. That's awesome. But I also would always have one underneath right after the content. So when somebody finished reading an article, they have the prompt right there. They finish reading. If they liked it, they can make the decision. It's not disrupting their reading experience. It's actually a part of their reading experience.
I'd say disruptive is the key phrase here. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, and
disruption.
Tammy Henry believes that pop-ups aren't disruptive, and maybe I just need to clarify what I define as disruptive. Anything that that interrupts your experience without you prompting it to.
Cheese, everybody, by the way.
The disruption is. It's an uncontrolled. Are we all taking selfies?
Speaking of disruption, sorry. That one was awesome, by the way.
Join the crowd, okay.
Everybody.
That's
even
a
better.
Picture, by the way.
It's Ellen's got nothing on us, you guys. Forget about it.
Yeah, so that was my little thing. The question.
Oh no, and thank you for that question, Lynn. I see a lot of comments in there about nice, brother. Oh, that's good stuff right there, Ryan.
Instagram.
Yeah, I just did mine too. I need to make sure I'm following you. I do see a lot of comments about that. So Dustin, I agree. I think it really is. I love that opt-in type of thing. So you're still accessing people, right? You're still. In fact, what you're letting them know is like, I think I'm cool enough to ask you to keep following me. Yeah. And that's right?
One last thing about that is that I believe it was HubSpot. There was a study. It may not be HubSpot. Somebody did a study. Maybe I can find that afterwards and put it in the comments section. But a study was done that opt-ins that are less easy to find, meaning the user had to kind of look for or do a little bit of work to get to the opt-in, converted much better, and those leads were a lot higher value and a lot more highly engaged than the leads that were attained through an obvious opt-in.
Right.
There's a psychology behind that. The perceived value of the opt-in is more when someone has to work for it.
Is there a warfare? Let's use the warfare word. Right. No, and I think it does make sense though. Don't you think it's you're going to be bringing in the best people? Oh, we're going to do a selfie again. You're bringing in the best people. I cannot wait to see how these turn out, by the way. That is an awesome face. I can tell right off the bat there. Ralph, I hope you got one too.
I got one.
Yeah, awesome. And then, Dustin, where are you getting? I know your Twitter. Like, where are you getting? You've got the email. Like, where are you getting it out? Your information out the most? I'd say G Plus is a big platform for you.
Google Plus is my home away from
Is your home.
It's.
Don't you want to go to your home, right?
I mean, I just. Get your home. No, I just have found such a connection with the people on Google Plus. I mean, I fell in love at the beginning with the concept of circles and hangouts and all the tools available, but really, I just found an audience on Google Plus that's. I mean, we have great conversations. We have conversations where we can laugh and conversations where we can intellectually push each other. We have conversations where we can argue,
right?
And then
like still, about pop-ups and the word bullshit.
About pop-ups and the word bull.
Exactly.
But then the next day, we can chat about other things that we're passionate and we find common ground on. That's where I found my audience.
It gets people thinking. I agree. Yeah. Twitter. Are you big on Twitter as well?
I love Twitter. I'm not as active there as on Google Plus, but I do love me some Twitters.
I do love me some Twitters too.
And it was my first love of social media.
It's like your first girlfriend, and then you still go, "Hey, girl, how are you?" And then you keep going back to your new relationship. Everybody needs to Instagram their selfies and then tweet them out to us too. In fact, if you guys want to do any back crab crazy selfies and tweet them out, that would be awesome. That would be, and actually tag all of us. So guys, we're at a little bit after the hour. That's how cool we are. We had that much good stuff. So I'm gonna round it right through here, and everybody's gonna do their back crab crazy, and then they're gonna do their call to action. But before that, you may know about my new format, which is called What's on the Bottom. So at that point, I'd like for everybody to stand up, show us what's on the bottom. All right, party people, here we go. I got tights. What do you guys got? Hold on. Ryan, that was nice. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
What's this at the bottom of my shirt right here? I don't know.
Yeah, please tell me you've got pants on. I like how Dustin's actually modeling.
You want me to walk the catwalk?
Yeah, walk that cat. Don't fall down the stairs, brother. Don't. Yep. Oh, that is awesome.
I've been modeling for a number of years.
I do like that. You need blue steel. Blue steel, everybody. All right, guys, let's wrap it. Oh, I love what's on the bottom. I was going to do like a different thing or like what's on your desk, but listen, what's on is just kind of damn fun. I'm just saying, I want to catch somebody in some kind of weird kilt, speaking of which. Ronnie actually get that started. So, listen, I'm going to start with you, Dustin. Hey, honey, what's your back crab crazy and what's your call to action?
Oh, gosh, man, I should have thought this through. I guess my back crab crazy is, man, I'm drawing a blank, but, I'm just going to say Ryan Hanley is my back crab crazy.
Boy crush.
I've been loving your conversations and your content. The fact that you are a new father like myself, well, I'm a second-time father, but you I know where you're at as a father, and the fact that you are still churning out great content, you're doing your podcast thing, you're doing your content warfare thing, you're doing it like a boss. Man, I just love that.
Or like a boss.
Like a boss. There you go. Well, I'm blushing now, so I...
You guys need to give each other a sleepless fist bump, I think.
Yeah, sleepless nights.
Sleepless nights fist bump. And what's your call to action, Dustin? What do you want us to do?
Call to action, go visit Dustin.tv and browse around. I hope you love the reading experience because I spent so much time making sure that it is beautiful for you to read. And do let me know of any bugs because I'm still working out a few kinks.
Yeah, it takes a village with that kind of stuff too, by the way. So you'll go look at because he's got shiny.
Read some stuff. Love the big, beautiful images that I spent hours of my life on, and I hope you enjoy it.
They are good stuff. Thank you, honey. Thanks for being my weekend guest consistently. Again, that's why we created the weekend. It's for Dustin and also Irene Brody. So let's give her a shout out. And Ileane Smith actually was our other one too. I know she wasn't feeling good, but big love to Ileane Smith. We love her. She needs to come back. Hey, Ralph, what is your back crab crazy? What are you crazy about? And what's our call to action for you?
Well, I am crazy about a little lady named Carolyn Rivera, my wife. She made Web Search Social happen, and I just can't imagine a better person to be working with every single day of my life. So that is my my little thing there.
I like it.
Very nice.
I got a little teary.
I had to drink some water.
And my shout-outs, websearchsocial.com. Please visit. We just soft launched it this morning, so if you see it and you love it, please let us know if you see it and you hate it. Let us know if you find any bugs or glitches. And if you're a blogger, if you're writing content, take a look at Triber. Lots of people get a lot of value out of it, and I really recommend that you take a look.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, right? And let me know if you like. Exactly. Thank you so much, Ralph, for coming on with us. And finally, our boy crush. We all have crushes on each other, but Ryan Hanley, what's your back crab crazy? What do you want us to do?
So my back crab crazy is Duke Hanley. That's my little boy. He is just a freaking monster. I love him. I named him after.
Awesome name.
Yeah,
Awesome.
his name is Ryan Duke Hanley. I didn't want a junior, but I wanted to name him after John Wayne, so that's why he got the name Duke.
That's awesome. That's power.
Yeah, and he's the man, and he kind of. I'll tell you, Dustin, it means a lot to me that you would say that. You know, you get into these things and you have no idea what the experience is going to be like, and you know, he was born, and I don't know what it was, but like all of a sudden I've been like. It was like rocket fuel, right? Like I saw him and I was like, I want to do really cool things so that when he can appreciate this stuff, like I can be like, hey, here's the really cool things I do. Now you do even cooler shit, right? Like that's what I want to be able to say to him. So
that's a good legacy, my brother. I like it.
So that's my back crab crazy. And I will give a shout out for Dustin's site. We were talking. I want my site to look like I just straight want to rip his site and then just make everything orange instead of red and like my colors because it's freaking sweet. And we're using the same general theme. He just has made it awesome, and I have like the regular version. So, so I guess
you awesomer, right?
yeah. I want him to. I want his awesomer version. But and then my call to action is anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about Google Plus. I have something called the Google Plus Starter Kit. It is 15 videos. A bunch of resources. It's completely free.
I signed up for it. It's very cool, by the way.
Yeah, and it just kind of takes you from beginner level to kind of a high-functioning user of the site, and you connect with a lot of amazing people in there. Because I give everybody who I follow shout outs. So especially, Mark Trabhagen has been mentioning bombing me this whole time in the comments, and he's one of the guys on there. So I'm going to mention his name one more time because I crush hard on him, so thanks so much for having me. It's been amazing.
Did you see Mark sing on my show? It was pretty awesome. He brought his mandolin in, and it was that made my day. That was a bucket list for me. Was having him sing. So that is awesome, guys. Thank you. My back crab crazy is going to be South by Southwest for sure because I'm nerding out on good stuff that's coming out there, and International Women's Day. So for all you ladies out there, that's a fist bump for you. Go out there, pay attention, go look at all the links that's going on, and get aware of what they're trying to bring attention to. Absolutely. And guys, that's it. Wrapping up the Mia Connects Power Chat, talking about blogging with Dustin Stout, Ralph Rivera, and Ryan Hanley. Big shout out to Andy Parker, who's in the background. He's my G+ Bravo, and he's been helping us with the comments. So, guys, all these guys are also going to put their comments in here and their links and their call to action and answer your questions. So, thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye. You are.
So I am the director of marketing for an independent insurance agency is what pays most of the bills, and then the rest of them are paid through a small content marketing consulting business that I do, and I speak nationally. And just to kind of piggyback off what Dustin said, yesterday it was 37 degrees. And it could have been 100, so you can keep your 70. And when it's been 15 degrees out for 2 months, 37 feels like 100. I was people walking around in t-shirts and shorts yesterday, so
I bet.
37.
Oh. And not to be a size queen or anything, but you're saying it's a small firm, but you've got a huge presence, my friend. So, and I've been nerding out on you all week. So, so I got my girl crush on you. So, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming on.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Next up, my brother, Mr. Ralph. Where you at, honey? Ralph M. Rivera, welcome to the show. Are you blowing your nose? That's why you're blue boxed and you're muted. Ralph's got a cold this this weekend, so he said he was gonna mute and take his camera off. Can you hear us, Ralph? Gotta unmute yourself, brother. Let's talk about him while he can't hear us. Actually, he can hear us. You just can't say anything. So Ralph, I guess, is muted. We can't get him unmuted. But he is a developer with Triber. So, oh, there he is. And there's two of them. Hey.
Yikes.
There's two,
what
you brother.
Happened there?
I don't know, but you're double trouble now. I love it.
Well, that's my plan for the rest of the show, just to drop in and drop out periodically.
Just to mix things up. Hey, tell us what you do and where are you out of, honey?
I am in the great state of New Jersey, originally from New York. In 1999, I founded a marketing and communications company called Raveler Interactive. We do some great stuff. And about 2 years ago, we founded a web search and social company called Web Search Social. And for about the past year, I've been working with a great team over at Triber.
Look at his T-shirt, everybody.
That's right, Triber.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
I was going to wear a T-shirt that said Dino Dogan on it, but I couldn't find that one.
Yeah, I think we need to get some of the people from a T-shirt store to make you a Dino Dogan one, and I would wear it too, by the way.
There you go.
But like maybe in tiny letters.
Did you see the picture that Dino posted today on his Facebook? A picture of him at 17 years old wearing nothing but a leather jacket.
And long hair.
Long hair, no shirt, leather jacket.
Oh, man.
He is merciless to himself, and it is awesome. I did see that. Hey, could you also, speaking of visual images, which I love, could you show us Mr. Stay Puft real quick, hon?
Oh.
Hey. I like how, like, scale-wise, it looked a lot larger where it was sitting, so I appreciate that.
This is our marketing coordinator.
Don't think. Clear your mind. He knows what scares you, right? Listen, before we get into the show about blogging, we have got some special guests that are driving by today. They're hanging out with the cool kids. I'm going to show in the broadcast. What up, guys? It's Ronnie Benson and Jeff C. Hey, guys. They've been photobombed twice since they got on the show. It's been awesome.
Hey, guys. It's Ronnie Benson, the Hangout Helper, and
Jeff C.
We're doing the shows live. We're doing stuff live from the streets of Austin, Texas. This is 2014 South by Southwest, or as the locals say, South by. And we've been doing this. This is our third technical day, but it's actually day number 2. And yesterday our big feature was interviewing Guy Kawasaki, which was rather awesome, and getting kicked out of the hotel twice for trying to do it in the hotel. So we got to do it outside on the streets. And we found something that's awesome for Mia, and I just wanted to bring it in. It's right here. You see that little ball?
Bling!
We got some bling to go with the tiara. So
I love it.
We are using the lesser quality, or the lower quality camera on the phone because we wanted to get both of us wearing our nifty hats. Right? We got matching hats for South by Southwest, and that right there, this is $50 of value right there, baby. 2 hats, $50.
And it is very worth it. It's very twinsy.
Yes, yes. So we hope that some of you are able to watch the show live. We're doing them all the way through the 11th, and we have an event for every day. There's a bunch of people from the Hangout Mastery Group helping run it. It's really pretty cool. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. You know, Mia, I was going to tell you, I was really worried when I met Ronnie for the first time that he would be wearing pants, because we never see that. And
the lower half.
Yeah, so he could have showed up in a Scottish kilt, and I thought that would have been cool. But anyway, it's a lot of fun.
I think that's the amazing thing about any IR. Oh, yeah. That's right, everyone. It's time. I am Mia Voss, and you're watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. It's the weekend edition, and we did it just for Dustin Stout, just so you know. Let's give him a hand.
You're welcome.
My brother. We were just blaming him for the weekend edition in the green room. So, listen, we're going to be talking about bloggity blog today. Content, Don Draper, you got it. We're going to be talking about it today. So I'm going to jump in. First, I'm going to thank my show sponsor, SteadyDemand.com. If you want to get some great power going on with managing your Google Plus profile, go to SteadyDemand.com/tool. Now everybody drink, because every time we say drink or we say tool, we all drink. You ready? Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, let me get the proper drink here.
Yeah, I know, the Batman cup, exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to jump in. Oh, and Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you for that, Ryan. Listen, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to introduce my panel. First up, as you already know, we've got Dustin Stout coming out of California. Hey, brother, tell us what you do, and, of course, we know where you are, but tell us again anyway.
Well, yes, I'm in beautiful Southern California. I can't emphasize enough how beautiful it is out here, while the rest of the world is, well, the world. By the world, I mean the U.S., because clearly I'm American, and that's all that matters. Doofus. So, yeah, it's beautiful here. I'm looking outside. It's probably in the 70s.
Oh, killing me.
And just let that marinate for a second. I am a designer, branding guy, a social media junkie. I help businesses, brands, people, individuals, and children, too. I don't discriminate.
You produce children.
I produce children who do awesome things online.
And you also produce shiny images. And just so you guys know, apparently I was a great influence on Judah, one of Dustin's kids, because he said Mia. And now we're waiting for him to say bat crap crazy, right?
Yeah, we'll work on that for the next weekend edition.
All right, well, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on, as usual, for our weekend. Next up, I've got Mr. Ryan Hanley. Welcome to the show, darling.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, on the opposite end of the scale, the other side of the country, freezing your butt off, tell us what you do and where you're is you really don't know if anybody's got anything pretty much below the rib cage.
Yeah.
So you didn't know if Ronnie would come in with fake legs. What was going to happen? Hey guys, who are you excited to talk with at the South by Southwest? I know you've already nerded out on Guy Kawasaki, so we got that out of the way.
That was probably the big feature for me, but there's other people we're trying to connect with. We're trying to meet up with Grumpy Cat. Okay.
Stop. Bob Voss. Bob Voss just lost his mind.
Okay, we're also trying to meet up with Justine Rivera, who is one of the main community managers for Google+. We've been chatting. We just haven't been able to figure out when and where. And there's someone else we were going to interview today, but she couldn't get a cab to get here in time, so we're going to meet up with her again later, we hope. Her name's Amy Harrison. She's from the UK. She does blog content creation. I'm trying to help key it into the show today.
Yes,
and,
we appreciate that.
We've got some other people actually I met on the street last year, and the guy's name is Carlos Austin, and he goes around with his iPad. He does photography. He does iPadography, I think is what he called it, and he does really cool stuff with his iPad. So he goes around taking pictures of people, branding it with the South by Southwest logo, and sending it to them digitally. That's what he does this time of year, which is pretty cool.
What a cool idea to get to see everybody that comes out there and is bringing new stuff to the table, and then they're recognizing you as well, which, by the way, without the glasses, that's another one. That's a different look you got going on, brother.
Hey, in my normal logo, I don't have glasses on, but people are, like, freaking out. Where's your glasses? Oh, and I have a hat on, so this is what I look like without the hat. Oh, what happened?
What up, Whitey? And without the earbud, too. I think that's another different look.
No, without the headset. Yes, that's changed. It's hard for people to understand, but I do have legs.
Hold on. I love it.
Anyways, but this is great. And Jeff's been a super fan, super fantastic. He's a super fan.
Fantastic.
Here holding on to stuff and making it work, as well as the rest of Hang On Mastery. And thanks for letting us come into the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
It's all for Dustin, so we're glad Dustin's here.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, this is groundbreaking stuff we're getting to see. I'm digging it. Yeah, hey, Dustin, Ralph, Ryan, you want to say anything to the guys before they get photobombed?
I heart you.
Can we get a 360 view up there where you guys are? Can we get a panorama?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll go. Which way you want to go? We're going slow so that it doesn't break up the picture because it's the lower quality mic. I mean, I keep saying mic. The camera.
There's probably cool people in those buses.
Okay, I'm nauseous.
I think we should also shout out Jeff C's facial hair. That's pretty awesome.
Look, kids, the real world, you know.
Exactly. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Listen, everybody go watch these shows because these guys are going to be busting it out. I mean, you're where all the cool people are.
Yeah, and you know what? What was the best feature for me besides Guy yesterday was eating the 3D candy that they made right there on the street. 3D printing in sugar with sour apple flavor, and it was yummy.
So you're all buzzed up and nerding out. I love it.
And salivating at the same time.
And salivating. We were laughing in the green room that when you talked to Guy Kawasaki, it was probably like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, like, hey, when you wrote that book, that was awesome, right?
That's right. Fortunately, I had enough composure after dealing with the security people that it wasn't going to faze me too much.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Just a little bit. You guys really pulled it off because that interview went from 30 minutes down to 5, right?
Well, Yeah, the situation was such that we were planning on being inside. He was wearing a short sleeve shirt. It was cold, and we were outside and windy, and I was struggling with the tech to make it work because it was one of the very first ones we did for the whole series, and we're just glad it worked out.
Yeah, now you.
Working at all.
But it made it work. We made it work.
You did. You guys are groundbreaking for us. That is for when we get out to San Diego in a couple of weeks too. So you're going to be able to talk us through it for sure. All right. Thanks for the bling, brothers.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming in, guys. We'll see you later. Thank you. Bye, guys. That was fancy. Oh, fist bump. I think he's.